Okay, I'll do a video. Oh shit.
Ready?
I'm doing a video. Fuck
What are
it.
some of the surnames?
Prom video.
Eagle.
Yep.
What's
yep.
up?
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Fuck, I'll do a video of it.
The Eagle side.
Okay. Very cool.
She's a historian down there too.
Very, very cool. Well, welcome. You're underground. Can you believe it? Now, as that water percolates down through, take a look at the ceiling. It's wet. It's dripping. Do you see all this moisture? Now, the water that's dripping from the ceiling, if you look over here, if it's allowed to keep dripping over a long, long period of time, the white calcium in the calcium carbonate will precipitate out and begin to grow these crystals. These are called soda straws. Now, I'll tell you with your phones, it's better for you to take the picture when I'm not holding the flashlight.
Right.
We've done a lot of tests on this.
Oh, yeah.
So take your pictures when I'm not holding the flashlight. They'll come out much better for you,
Okay.
okay? Now, if water flows down the side walls of the cave, like this, it's called flowstone, okay? That's a little bit different than forming the stalactites. So we're going to walk down this series of stairs and walk across this metal bridge. When we get to the other side, we're going to look down into the second level. There's many places where we'll see the second level.
big for all guys. Oh, look at all that. It's Indiana Jones. Save me, yeah.
The cave widens out real wide in some areas and very narrow in others.
That's cool.
So let's look at underneath the bridge here real quick before we go on up the stairs.
Okay.
Most of the time, the water, do you see these real pretty stairs right here? But by about right there, you notice how the stair changes, right? Most of the year, the water is right up here. And you can see how that has dissolved away the rest of those stairs, right? But this is the dry season, so there's part of the second level. Right up here is a very interesting cave formation that you probably will never see in your life. There's only 9 caves that we can research that has this cave pearl nest. Now, if you look real close, where you're standing, it's brown, right? That's the earth. But all of this is white. And you see that there's like a little bowl in there, and there's little pearls. The story starts right here. Do you see that little spigot sticking up there? It's building up a water droplet. It's the dry season, right? Most of the time when it's not the dry season, that thing drips like this. Drip, drip, drip. It's good. There it goes. All right, it comes down and drips. Now, most of the time there's water there, and when the splash, it splashes out, and calcium builds up this great big nest right here, and any little pebble or grain of sand that gets caught in that nest gets layer after layer of calcium built over that. Now, we put these rocks here 20 years ago, and look at all the flowstone. Look how thick that flowstone is getting from the splashing of that calcium right out of that water. Pretty cool. Okay. Oh, I'm going to show you this. This is a really cool formation right over your head. Look how wet and dripping that is. See that? And when it drips, right here, it's building up all this calcium right on the stairs. You want to see something kind of creepy? I think it's creepy. Okay. Do you see the stalactite, that little pointy guy right there? See, I mean, you see that these are called shark's teeth. You'll see some up close and personal. That stalactite, now look right there. Does that not look like a human jaw with teeth right there? I love it. It's weird. It's creepy. Yeah. Fun. All right. Walk through this little path here. Take a look at the soda straw crystals under this ledge. Alright, now be real careful coming through here. You're going to have to jump to her.
Dun, 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 dun. I think we're on videotape. Whoa. Oh, dude, look at this. Oh yeah, this is awesome. You have to shrink. Look at me. Ah! Oh my god.
Are you good?
Yeah, we're cool. I'm just videotaping.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
I am, if you step up on this
yeah,
little
I see.
platform, it's dark here for the
Right.
wow factor,
Oh,
okay?
that's pretty cool.
All right, take a look. Up. Here is that sinkhole. Remember I was telling you about it? They boarded it up. Look at those old boards and sunk this culvert pipe. And you're looking at a block building. And the inside of the roof of that building is right there. Can you see that? Now I'm going to turn my light out for just a minute. I'm going to do this. Can your can your camera see it better?
Oh no, you're good.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I know. So that's how far down underground we are.
Cool.
That'll give you an idea. Okay? So we can go that way and follow the light.
This is awesome. This is cold too. Nice and cool.
Be very
Whoa.
careful right through here. It might be a little slick.
Cool like the lights.
Okay?
Yeehaw! I'm sliding. I'm sliding.
Okay? If you look right up in this corner, look at this. This is so beautiful. A big old fat stalactite met its stalagmite, and now it formed a column, and all this flowstone is coming down the side of the cave right to here. Isn't that pretty? All right, we're going to take a look right here. I'll turn the lights on. At our second cave pearl nest. We don't have just one, but we have two cave pearl nests.
Dun, dun,
right here.
dun. I got video. I'm videotaping, not playing for us.
Eventually that'll meet to the other side.
Well, as far as cave pearl nests, yeah, I mean, it's building up and building up. But it's not exactly a stalactite.
Okay.
Up underneath here is a little drippy guy here, okay?
Okay.
And as that water drips, it's piling up the calcium. Sure. Now, if you look down inside, you might see the tops of two of the cave pearls that are left because the other ones are captured. So much calcium is being deposited, they're being buried in there. I remember when there were 4 cave pearls in there. Now you can only see the tops of 2. Very crazy, huh? Let me see where that box is. Right behind you. Okay. Right up here is a place where we can look at a shark's teeth and how they actually grow. Not too many people get a chance to see them this close. Now, doesn't that look like, sort of, those little jaggedy teeth, don't they sort of look like shark's teeth? Well, here's flowstone. So the water flows down and deposits all that calcium, but right here you can see the ceiling getting steeper. And so it wants to continue flowing, but gravity wants to pull the droplets down. So like this one right here, as long as that water drop stays there, it's growing one of those pointy teeth right there. That's how those teeth get real nice and pointy. We're following that same track all the way through the cave. Just look around. Alright, we're going to hang on to this handrail in here. The stairs are a little bit uneven. We're going to come down on this level right here. I'm going to jump up here and turn these lights on real quick.
Oh, damn.
Oh, no, you can see the picture.
There? Take your time. Now, once you're down on this level right here, if you look right where that squarish rock is, we are so close to the second level now. Okay? Now, there's no water in the second level. In Springfield, Ohio, not too far from here, about an hour, there's a college called Wittenberg University. And back in the 1960s, Dr. Horton Hobbs was a premier geologist here in Ohio, and he taught there. And he would bring his geology students every summer to our cave and take them down and teach them spelunking skills. You know, you put on wetsuits and your helmet and your light and all that and belly crawl through the mud. Well, they were the ones that truly mapped out the whole second level for us. And they tell us that, see, they love going down this hole. And if you go off in this direction, underneath this big mass of rock, there are many passageways and corridors, and it takes you into many different areas. Wow. So that was one of their favorites. Now, when the water starts coming up, this is called the drain pipe. The water comes up the drain pipe and fills up the bathtub. So many times of the year you come and there's water in the bathtub. When the bathtub overflows, right where you folks are standing, there's water, right? So then we walk across here. Oh, wow. And sometimes the water's over this, so we walk across here. Only a couple of days a year. It's so high that we can't take tours all the way through. But it's just a couple days. But look at this old middle. See the top of the middle? That is, you know, just eroded away. And behind your legs, you can see up underneath this rock where many, many years, you know, who knows how many years, but it has eroded all that away over time. Okay? Let's check the temperature today. What would you say?
46.
46. You can see your breath. It's cold. Okay.
It's the Goonies. Ow, my head. Fuck. Ow, my head.
Now, right here in this area, instead of the white calcium, if you look right through here, you're going to see this brown glazing because then there's more iron in that deposit than just the white calcium. I think it sort of looks like one of those chocolate fondue fountain things, you know. All right, watch your head as you come up these little stairs.
Right. Look at Isaac. It's chocolate.
Keep pushing it.
You keep pushing it. Now we're really fucked up.
Well, since we're standing here, I'll tell you the story. Before the bats got the white snout disease, for many years, we always hosted the haunted caverns in October, okay? We had a host of 30 to 40 people every night hiding in this cave in the most ghoulish outfits. And you can see as you go through here, all the little nooks and crannies where you could hide from people and jump out. We were never allowed to touch anybody, but it was crazy wild. And we had live bats that would fly over our heads and it would creep the people out. They flow naturally through here and they'd never hurt you because they're not interested in you. Okay.
How long ago was that?
So, we have not done that in probably 8 or 9 years. Yeah. So now, right here, where I'm standing, remember the people lower down in the basket? This was the end of the cave at that time. What we're going to go through is a man-made, hollowed-out tunnel. You can see the pickaxe marks all through here because 2 boys were playing in the opposite ravine and found another cave. So the people are going, yay, we have 2 caves. But they learned very soon that this cave is oriented in this direction, and this cave is oriented in this. Well, it's the same cave, it just had never hollowed out. So they pickaxed their way through. Halfway through this tunnel, they found something really remarkable. So we'll stop and look at that. But when we had the haunted caverns, this cave, the lights were strobe lights. Imagine freaking out through the skinny little tunnel of strobe lights. The floor is really slick right through here, so just step lightly. Looks like a big wishing well. Okay? And what happened was, during the Ice Age, when the ice was melting, the cave got, the water came rushing through here and found a crack that went down through there. And just like when you unplug your bathtub or a sink or something, the vortex effect, well, the water that came running through here found that crack and was going down through there and hollowed all that out.
Has anyone ever been down there?
They have. And there's actually a big dome room down there.
Wow.
Yeah. We just don't offer second level tours. Okay.
That's crazy.
Where did they get down into the center? Where they at?
There were several places. Remember the metal bridge?
Yeah.
That's one place.
I was just wondering.
The bathtub was the second place. Not the third place. Not the most recommended place.
Yeah. I don't think.
I'll tell you what that place.
That's so awesome.
This is pretty cool if you come around here and take a look at this. Now, I've been a biology teacher for 31 years and I just retired this last year. We brought microscopes to Zane Caverns and we came down here and took water samples and sediment samples. We found no bacteria, no living, wiggling, squiggling, anything in this water. So this water down here in this cave would be similar to you drilling a well and you pump up the water and you drink your well water. So if the Paleo-Indian people in the, in the Ice Age, we were told that they live in caves, right? It could very well have been this cave. We've never found any artifacts or anything in here, but it's conceivable that they absolutely could have lived in here. So they had a water source, okay? Another access to the second level is right through this hole. However, when you look down through there, you think, how in the world can anybody get down there? It's pretty deceiving because see that flat rock? If you sat down on that rock, you could jump down underneath this ledge. It really hollows out underneath this massive rock right here. So Horton Hobbs took his spelunking students down this hole with a 300-foot rope, kept descending, descending, descending. They never found the bottom. When they got to the 300-foot mark, it kept going down. But, it's cold. But can you imagine being wet and cold? Hypothermia sets in pretty quick. So they came back up and said, yep, it's deeper than 300 feet. This part of the cave is the cave where the two little boys found, We'll take a look. I'm going to turn the lights on over here. But there's so much to look at right in here. This is where the excitement starts. Underneath here, you can see stalactites that met their stalagmites and formed a column. Can you see those? Do you want me to turn my light off?
Oh, you can have your light on.
Okay.
You're good.
And then right along here, look at the very bottom of this. That's all flowstone as opposed to this rock. And you could see the glazing on there. In some places, you can see the light through. Can you see how pretty that is? Yeah. This can be maybe a squid, and maybe an octopus. Some little kids told me that looks like Davy Jones's face from the pirate movies. Right? We're gonna come around this little spot right here. Alright, you have to stand right here. I'm gonna go click this light on right here. Alright. So there's so much to see. Now, electric and water does not, they just don't go well together, right? We have tried so many different kinds of light bulbs. When the light bulb is hot and a real cold blob of water drips on it, and right behind you guys is the light that is supposed to light up this beautiful formation right here. That just went out yesterday. That is just so pretty. And sometimes you see a little bit of color in there, like a turquoise or something. We do get algae growing. You can see some moss here because we do so many cave tours, the lights are on all the time. We did not find living creatures on this level, but Horton Hobbs said down on the second and